I reject the notion that anybody would suggest that the U.S. Constitution is this model of excellence, American greatness, American exceptionalism that was in any way, shape, or form borrowed from us. It wasn't. It was not. So while I appreciate the intent, perhaps, of making that argument, and I think the real thing that should be argued here is that we weren't primitive, that we had a sophisticated system that was complicated, yes, on one hand, but simple on the other. Was it efficient? No, not necessarily, but it was thorough. And we had the right ideology to make that work for thousands of years. So, this notion that we were ignorant savages, even as Ben Franklin cited it, simply wasn't true. We had we had solved so many problems of our own and some that were created by others. We formed unions with other nations. We had treaty councils. We did all of that stuff, including the treaties that we had entered in with the United States, that the United States defaulted on. So, the biggest problem that we had was that once we became inundated with European ideologies, there became a separation between those people that we put into the positions as servants of our people, literally servants of our people, those people that you would know as chiefs or even clan mothers, that once the outside came to understand our system, they said, well, we don't want to get involved with clans. We don't want to get involved with your internal system. We just give us the guys who have the authority. And so they elevated men in our communities to the point where our egos, the egos of our men, got so stroked that it undermined, and we no longer had a clan system. In fact, most people would call what we had a chief system. Some people even call it a hereditary chief system because of a misunderstanding on how the clan mothers would nominate somebody to represent the clan from on the male side. They said, well, she would always nominate her sons. Well, that's not exactly the translation. So there's so much that gets missed and lost in translation, some of it intentionally. So from East Coast to West Coast, what you had was the United States constantly dismissing our people, just like they dismissed their own, to only deal with people that they viewed had the, not necessarily the intellect, but the authority to represent their people and sign stuff away. That's what we were, I mean, that's what we faced, that's what we were faced with. So there was no modeling the U.S. Constitution after our ways. And in fact, in our film, The Long Hope, again, we're doing a screening and on the 21st at University of Buffalo. There's a passage in there by my friend Gunnar Zaraga. Some people know his name is Loran, where he said, if the system that we had been followed, we'd be living a very good life today. Because it's clear that it wasn't. And I know there are people. Look, there are people who are from my communities that like to make this claim that the Constitution was modeled after us. I've seen people across social media, podcasts, vlogs, blogs, all kinds. People do it constantly. I'm not one of them. So I wanted to state that and make that very, very clear.